What up everyone, it's your man XMan87 here, bringing you another Marvel Legends video, and what I have for you today is the Marvel Legends 2024 Spider-Man Retro Wave The Last Stand Spider-Man review. Before we get into everything, if you could please leave a thumbs up, like rating on the video, it'll help show your support for my channel and I greatly appreciate it. Now with that said, let's go! Old Man Peter Parker as The Last Stand Spider-Man was first introduced in Amazing Spider-Man issue number 58. Madam Web showed Peter a vision in which he kills Kraven the Hunter to avenge the death of his friends Matty Franklin and Kane. These actions brought him down to a dark path, becoming a grizzled anti-hero who ended up hurting his loved ones in the process and banned from the Avengers. Things would continue to get darker as he became more relentless and showed no remorse after killing Doc Ock by plunging one of his own tentacles through his heart. While on the run, being wanted for his crimes, he would eventually be gunned down by NYPD after refusing to surrender at gunpoint. As I inspected this figure, and as suspected when it was first revealed, this is not based off the comic. It is based off the Gamerverse Spider-Man PS4, and the easiest way you could tell, it has the seam work on the mask and around the mask. You can even tell the shape of the lens, even seam work on the gloves. I have a side-by-side image so you can reference. The comic version had a flat mask. There was no seam work or anything like that, nor the hands. And this isn't the first time they did a Gamerverse Spider-Man PS4 figure in a retro wave. If you remember the Spider-Man Mark 1 armor, this was actually from the Gamerverse. As you can see, the seam work with the lines around the, costume and the textures. And for some reason, people were telling me, no, it came from the comics, not the Gamerverse. Yeah, I know that. I'm not dumb. I'm letting you know the adaptation from the source material to the figure. Like, it's not a comic version. You can see the knee pads are different. The comic one did not have these kind of knee pads. The knee pads will like stick out and it was connected to the boots. And again, the seam work and the textures all throughout. The design pattern is from the Gamerverse. So that's the source material it was adapted from. Again, just to be clear, I know this armor came from the comics. I remember reading Web of Spider-Man issue number 100 when I was a kid, and it became one of my favorite Spider-Man costumes ever. I'm just letting y'all know the figure adapted the Gamerverse version over the comic version, okay? I don't know why people didn't get it the first time, but it must have been a misunderstanding, so that happens sometimes, and let's just move on. Here's a closer look at the head sculpt. Again, really like that seam work right there, man. It's beautiful. Nice sculpt on the lens. And the worst thing about this figure, I'll let you guys know right now. Oh my god, is that freaking neck. That is absolutely horrible, man. This is like Daddy Long Neck. What the hell? Dude has Plastic Man neck. That thing is stretching. It looks bad. I'm a fan of double ball peg necks, but not when it looks horrendous like this. Ooh, that is bad. Even standing straight like that, you could tell it's on the long side. The peg is too visible on the back of the head right there. Jacket looks good. I like the sculpt work on it. More seam work right there. The buttons, the spider logo. It's nice, standing out. I like that. Even on the back, the spider logo is raised. That feels nice. I like it. The arms are reused from Jimmy Woo, MCU Jimmy Woo, I want to say, or the Peter B. Parker. I know they both shared those same arms. So you can see it's the same pattern and design. I'm not a big fan of this costume, actually. From the comics, I was never really big on this costume at all, but in figure form, it looks pretty cool, but I'm just not a fan of that neck. And here are the hands. Great details. Look at the seam work right there. Black on the inside. That looks nice. They did a real good job on the hands. And you can see the legs right there. And I remember someone telling me, I believe it was in my Hydro Man Daredevil 2-pack, that because I said these were new pants, new updated pinless jeans, and someone was telling me, a few of you told me that it was actually reused from the Hawkeye, that it's not new, it's old, and I'm just like, okay, well, Yeah, that figure came out in 2021, but this is like a first time reuse, so it's new to me. Okay, so, and I don't think it was used with anyone else, and if it was, all right, second time reuse, still new to me. So it's not like they abused the hell out of it like Bucky Cat mold. This is yeah, I like the work here, you know. Nice textured details all throughout. The seam work, again, if it came from MCU, well, yeah, I know it comes from the MCU Hawkeye. Now, I totally forgot about that figure, man. You know, they always add textures and details to the MCU figures, and I'm just happy that they're adding it more to the comic figures now. So it looks good. I like these updated jeans, and then you got his boots right there. Got the laces. There's no paint or anything. It's just solid black, but overall it makes the figure look good. And for accessories, he comes with a pair of closed fists, and you can see more black painted on the inside, and even right there on top of the index finger, so that's pretty cool. No Old Man Peter Parker head sculpt, though. That would have been the icing on the cake for this figure if they gave him an Old Man Peter Parker head sculpt, so I felt like that was the only thing missing. But since it's really more of the Gamerverse, I guess they didn't want to add an additional comic head, so no matter the case, it would have been a very nice addition to this figure. And now to articulate the Last Stand Spider-Man, his head is on a double ball peg, as I mentioned before, so he does look up a good amount. So I do like that. He looks down about that far. I don't know, that double ball peg should make him look a lot farther. Too much of a gap right there. And then you have the left-right movement. He does get a lot of good pivoting, so if you love pivoting, then you're going to get that with this guy. Rocks around. His arms move about that far up, slightly higher than a T-pose. I would say straight as, yeah, that's as far as you're going to get. And, you know, you can move it up, down. You got the bicep swivel, double jointed pinless arms, wrist swivel, and a wrist hinge. The torso, he's on that belly rocker motion, so you will get that nice deep pivoting, which I do enjoy that. It rocks around, you know, you got the swivel motion, and it does bend about that far forward. Not much, does bend further back, but yeah, no swivel underneath that, so, excuse me, ab crunch underneath that, so it's going to be pretty stiff and posing. It all depends how you pose them, you know. You'll get some good pivoting, but it's that crunch that's gonna hinder a lot of the good posing that you want. So yeah, that's not gonna do it for me. He needed something extra in there to give him some more range. And then you got the legs spread that far apart. He kicks up about that high and kicks about that far back. Awkward frontward split. Legs rock around. You got the thigh swivel, double jointed knees, and no heel to the Last Stand butt. And his ankles move up about that far. Okay, pretty good. Down, and it rocks all around. It's time to compare, and since this Spider-Man figure is based off the Gamerverse version, I'm going to compare him to the rest of the Gamerverse figures. So here he is next to the Spider-Man Advanced Suit 2.0 and the Spider-Man Miles Morales upgraded suit. Here he is next to some other alternate suits from Spider-Man 1 PS4. We have the Spider-Man Mark 1 armor, Mark 3 armor, and then the Velocity suit. Lastly, here he is to one of the main villains in Spider-Man 1 PS4, Mr. Negative, and we have him here next to one of the Inner Demon gang members. And now to wrap things up, my final rating is a 5.5 out of 10. This is one of my least favorites in the wave. I don't hate it. It's not one of the strongest. It's just mid. And it's not just because I'm not that big on this costume. I wasn't even thrilled about it being a playable skin in the Spider-Man 1 PS4 game like I said earlier. I actually think it turned out okay. I like it more in figure form, but what kills it for me is that stretchy ass neck and the lack of ab crunch, which hinders a lot of good crouching poses. The accessory selection is not that strong. He didn't use web shooters, so there wasn't a need for web whipping hands, but an Old Man Parker head would have been the only additional accessory needed. The textured details and seams throughout make it look alive, and for those who collect all the spider suits and legends like I do, you'll find this as another sweet addition. Haven't decided if I want to display this with the rest of the spider suits on my spider shelf or add him in my Gamerverse shelf with the rest of my Gamerverse Spider-Man suit styles. This figure will fit in either comic or Gamerverse displays, so you can't go wrong. Ultimately, this one ranks at the bottom for me with the Spider Assassin figure in the wave. I'll actually put Spider Assassin over this one because all that needs fixing is the hips, and he's a lot more comfortable to pose with more options. While this isn't a terrible figure, it's not great, it's just mid. So The Last Stand takes last place in the wave. Now I kick it back to you. What do you think of this Last Stand figure? Are you a fan of this costume, or are you like me and find it boring? What other Spider-Man suit from PS4 or PS5 would you like to see next in Legends? Comment below, let me know, we'll chat about it. Thanks for watching another Marvel Legends video. Please follow me on Instagram if you haven't already at xmanny87. Hit the notification bell so you always know when my latest videos are up. Share and subscribe if you're new. See you on the next review. Peace, peace.